and gentlemen, it's a pleasure, an absolute delight to be here amongst you all to talk on this very important subject. Now we have three panelists, and we are going to be talking about the changing nature of war. We are not restricting ourselves to the region. We are going to talk about changing nature of warfare, take up different aspects perhaps. So I request panelists, we have with us Commodore Uday Bhaskar, Dr. Gulshan Rai, and Mr. Satish Kumar. I will talk about them, introduce them one by one as they get to speak. All of us will take 15 minutes or lesser, and that will give us about 30 to 40 minutes for a question and answer session. We heard a couple of speakers speak about the region, and we heard about the geopolitical challenges or the evolving geopolitical picture. Even if you take it at the world stage, the global stage, we are looking at moving from unipolarity to multipolarity, etc. What are the other trends that are changing? Because these are the ones, in addition to technological transformations, that decide how wars are going to be fought in the future. Will they be same as earlier, or will they be different? And how different? We are looking at competition for resources, resource availability, including basic things like water. It used to be oil earlier, water, mining, maybe some specific minerals. We are now perhaps looking at huge economic disparities. They will drive how future conflicts will be shaped. We are looking at disparity in demographies. We have aging populations in some parts of the world. We have youth bulge in other parts of the world. And it is such like factors that give rise to immigration. Look at the immigration, legal or open, in Europe. The Rohingya crisis nearer home. So these are the conflicts of the future. They are of different kinds. These are not wars, but will wars be ever fought as in World War I, World War II? Now, rapid advances in technology, that's another big impact. That is going to define how wars will be fought. Look at internet. Now, internet, the cyber world, space, robotics, drones or UAVs, these are the technologies and many more which have changed our lives in the last 50 years or so, which have brought a lot of good to the mankind, but they also have great uses in war. And it is these technologies which will decide how the wars are going to be fought in the future, how the wars are going to be won, what is going to be the notion of victory. Increasingly, we see that there are not going to be wars for annexing or conquering territory, for adding territory to your own country. So then what will define victory or the notion of victory? Where will the wars be fought? Will they be fought on the borders? In olden days, the wars were fought outside the towns, outside the population centers. The two armies faced each other during the day. Then we evolved with better standoff weapons and we came to trench warfare in World War I. We had maneuver warfare in World War II, widespread aerial bombardment. To end the war, it was the nuclear weapons were used, and with huge collateral damage. The Gulf War, the first Gulf War, there was a swift, painless victory because of technology. The technology of the time proved to be so good that there were very less losses in human life, comparatively speaking. And then come terror attacks. 2001, that defines terror attacks, but there have been so many over the world. They hit only population centers. The armies are not touched. There's only collateral damage, if you can call it that. So, this is our future. And where the wars are going to be fought? Is it going to be in the cyberspace? Space itself, outer space is the next contest is going to be in outer space. Is it there? Is it also in the mind space? It is very important. Perceptions are important. And I'll talk about that later. So it is very important for us to understand how and where the wars are going to be fought and won. Talking a bit about technology, Dr. Gulshan Rai is here. He'll talk about this. Now, internet, social media, they have changed our lives forever. They brought a lot of connectivity, a dizzying pace of human contact, a lot of benefit to mankind in all fields. But they've also brought revolutions. Social media, the new age media has brought revolutions in the Middle East. It is widely used by criminals, the terrorist organizations, especially the darknet. It is after the Paris attack of 2015, the terrorist organization moved to darknet in a big way. It gives you perfect anonymity, better interaction between transnational crime and other such unsavory activities there. So, we are looking at the cyberspace, we are looking at hacking, infecting, and more. These are going to be hotly contested spheres now. Now, states, non-state actors, everyone is tending to use the cyber warfare as an instrument of coercion. So the countries have to defend themselves. Countries have to make their critical information infrastructure secure. Countries have to protect their military domains. Several big countries have started raising cyber commands and structures to defend themselves and create adequate deterrences. Dr. Gulshan Rai will speak more. He's the best expert on the subject and he will speak more on the subject. Space. Well, space is the next frontier. Space, we have about 1800 or approximately 1800 man-made satellites in space. And a huge amount of debris from the size of a pebble to a rock. This sphere is also very congested. We are looking at weaponization of space. We have, although on the one hand we have a large amount of applications that bring benefit to mankind. It has huge applications, meteorology, medicine, communications, what have you. But on the military side, we are looking at weaponization. We're already seeing the entry of private sector. A couple of years ago, in 2015, the US Congress passed a bill allowing companies to explore for mining in space. Our own ISRO, the Indian Satellite Research Organization, just a couple of weeks ago has launched a project to study feasibility of exploring for helium on the south side of Moon. So are we looking at this kind of jostling in space as well? On the military side, space is used for communications, for intelligence, for PNT and intelligence, that ISR. Communications, a lot of communications, just like the civil use, military communications also rests on space-based systems. We have PNT, position, navigation, timing, globally what we call GPS, that's another military use. And ISR, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance. ISR, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the key for all wars in future. Whoever has better ISR will end up as winners. There are many other such fields with technology. We talk of robotics or their flying counterparts, the drones. They have widespread civilian uses. but they also have a lot of military employment. When we talk of drones, we generally tend to imagine what we hear in the media or drones that are being used by the Western countries in the Middle East. Drones or unarmed aerial vehicles come in all sizes, from a very small pocket-sized drone, any object, a quadcopter, anything that can fly, to huge predator kind of drones. But smaller platforms are very easy to manufacture, comparatively inexpensive. So robotics, drones, they open up a lot of civil uses, but also military employment. If you combine artificial intelligence and big data analytics with them, these technologies are going to be game changers. I spoke about ISR earlier and what key role it is going to play in future wars. Intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, whether it is from space-based platforms, whether it is from air-based like UAVs or aircrafts, or ground-based platforms. It turns up huge amount of data. You have data like especially videos. It is well nigh impossible for human beings to be able to sift that data, analyze that data, to make some sense and use out of it. So you get in big data analytics. You have on the social media, the terrorist organization post a lot of stuff, radicalization or otherwise. To be able to make sense of it, to sift through that data, it is not going to be possible to do it in time at least, so it is self-defeating if it is late. And so you get in big data analytics over here. You use artificial intelligence, big data analytics together. The combats are speeding up. They're speeding up so much that human beings can't actually keep pace with it. The quality of algorithms, they will decide who will gain the upper hand. We will be able to produce weapons that can think for themselves with artificial intelligence. While automatic weapons are not new, right from World War II days, the Germans had acoustic torpedoes which use homing principle. The Tomahawk cruise missile could change its navigation, reading the Earth's contours and hit the target. But the next 2 decades will decide that artificial intelligence will have the ability to be able to perform almost any task that human beings can do. They will have the ability to reason, to plan, to solve problems, to think abstractedly, and very importantly, learn from their experiences, machine learning. The possibility of killer robots is not going to be only in the realm of fiction. In fact, sometimes the prospect is so frightening. There are some great names who warned against it. Stephen Hawking, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, even Henry Kissinger, that artificial intelligence, badly handled, it would turn to be an existential threat. So mankind, scientists, we really need to take care that we use it with caution. Imagine the possibility of opening up, I'm just going to make a small example, give you a small example, like a swarm of drones, small drones, used together as a cloud, call it swarmoid. They are led by one amongst them as a leader, using artificial intelligence. In fact, it is also possible that you can change the leader depending on the situation. They enter a building or an object. To enter, they split up and permeate through wherever possible, and then again regroup and attack together. All this, is it really in the realm of science fiction? Okay, next, let me talk about the psychological warfare, the info warfare, the mind space, and how this space is very important. Information warfare is struggle to dominate the generation and flow of data to enhance your own strategic goals while degrading that of the enemy. And information dominance is also of 2 things. It is firstly the physical infrastructure through which the data flows. but it's also the info dominance of the human agents that interact with that data. You can affect perceptions by using various tools. Media is one of them, as we see, media and social media. You can affect right from context to the biases, you can change perceptions that to affect or influence decision making. And perception is it's at every level of war. It can be an operational, tactical operational, or strategic level. A soldier in the front, he has no news. If he's on a WhatsApp message going around, he gets on his phone he starts to believe in something, then that is the data or available. That is the perception that he carries. There are a lot more technologies I could talk about. The idea is not to talk about technologies like nanotechnology, quantum computing, laser, etc. The idea is to talk about how technological transformation is going to decide how future wars are going to be fought. And before I hand over to the panelists, I would like to draw a small analogy. Mr. Pankaj Madan mentioned in the first earlier session, the open session, that we're waiting for the World Cup. Hasn't this been a World Cup of upsets? The big powerhouse teams have not been able to do that well. In fact, the defending champions did not get past the first round. The underdogs have made it better. One of them has been dogged enough to get to the finals. And while the outcome will be awaited to finals on Sunday, but that for sure that just like we talk about the warfare, the trends in World Cup or the trends in football are also changing. Thank you very much.